This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too.
I really commend President Trump and his administration.
His belief in American peace through strength is what brought about the peace deal.
I give credit to President Trump. I give credit to Witkoff and Kushner and Rubio. These are hard jobs.
Well, let's talk about this momentous day in the Middle East. Fox News chief political analyst Brit Hume joins us tonight. Brit, good evening. The Washington Post editorial board has this: the day after war has arrived. In a region where the United States has had little diplomatic success in recent decades, the president can fairly claim a generational accomplishment. At the same time, this represents the first phase of what will be an arduous process. Whether this chapter leads to an enduring peace depends on Trump's continuing personal involvement and America's role as the peace deal's main guarantor. Your thoughts on the big picture today?
Brett, I think today is something different and new. Not just that the hostages are out, although that's very, very important. Not just that the fighting has stopped, although that is certainly important as well. But because I think that there's now signs that not just in places immediately close to Israel, but around the Middle East and much of the world, there is a recognition that the way of terror is a dead end, and that it leads to calamitous results, and that the Destroy Israel project, which has been tacitly or actively participated in by so many countries supporting Israel's enemies, has failed, and failed spectacularly. And I think that changes the calculus for all these nations. Now, I'm not sure that Iran is ready to help or anything like that kind, although Iran was there today at that extraordinary meeting in Sharm el-Sheikh with that tableau and that big photo op they had of all those leaders from all these places all over the place, wanting to get on board, if you will, wanting to participate in this, wanting to say they support it. And that may prove, as the more challenging aspects of this plan are now put into effect, to be as important as anything.
You mentioned Iran, and you heard House Speaker Johnson refer to peace through strength. Obviously, the phrase often used about President Reagan's foreign policy. But that B-2 bomber strike into Iran at the nuclear facilities, it did seem to change the entire dynamic and perhaps took Iran off the chessboard as far as supporting Hamas, as far as funneling money to terrorist proxies, but also being a guarantor of this kind of effort that was going on in the Middle East.
Yeah, Iran was unquestionably the anti-Israel force's most important sponsor, really, and the leading sponsor of terrorism in the world. And it's now on its heels and perhaps recalculating its position. And the president has made it plain that he wouldn't be adverse to hitting them again if they try to rebuild their nuclear capacity. That's a big deal. And also, Brett, there's this. In the end, despite the fact they had some friction from time to time, the president let Bibi Netanyahu do what he felt he must do to defeat Hamas and defeat them finally and convincingly. And I hear it said now that, well, this deal was available some time back. No, it really wasn't, because the key to all this in the end was the utter defeat, the military defeat, and then eventually the political defeat of Hamas. It now is an utter shadow of its former self and faces now a major international effort to disarm it. This could be the beginning of the end for Hamas and other organizations like it, which Israel has taken such a big bite out of recently.
And looking at the big picture going forward, 2 years ago, about 2 weeks before October 7th, I went to Saudi Arabia and I interviewed the Crown Prince there and asked him about normalization efforts with Israel at that time. Take a listen.
There were reports that you had suspended talks.
No, that's not true.
Not true. So you think, if you were to characterize it, are you close?
Every day we get closer.
I know you heard those words from the Saudi Crown Prince. What was your response?
Well, I was delighted to hear what he had to say, and to borrow a phrase, I think we're getting closer to peace every day.
Obviously, that was just 2 weeks ahead of October 7th. It changed the whole dynamic. But could that dynamic be changing once again now?
Yeah, I think so, Brett, because I think that dynamic you spoke of that was interrupted by the vicious attack, that hideous atrocities committed on September 7th 2 years ago, That was a response, I think, to the fact that it looked like the Saudis and Israel might be coming to some kind of an agreement, recognition. And I think that the terrorists were desperate to head that off. Well, they tried. The result was a bloody 2-year war with terrible destruction. But it really was the end of Hamas as an important force in the region. And I think that opens the way for that momentum of which those two leaders spoke in that those remarkable interviews you did to move forward.
Brit, as always, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.